Going to teach about the second lesson, ideas of development. In this chapter, we will learn about the nuclear power project, about the contents of the newspaper report, income and other goals, how to compare different countries or states, income and other criteria, public facilities, human development report, development as progress over time. Now, let's see what development means. Development refers to progress or improvement in our lifestyle. Everyone has an own opinion on development. For example, there are so many desires and aspirations regarding how to live and what to do. There are also some views on how the country should be. Also, there are so many views on how our village or town should be, how our state should be, how our country should be. Development means thinking about these questions and ways to reach the goal. All persons do not have the same notion of development. Different groups of people have different goals towards development. Children, let's see how their development goals are. Landless rural laborers want to more days of work and better wages. Local school enable to provide quality education for their children and they want to there is no social discrimination. Farmers depending on rainfall growing crops, they want to good monsoons, want more facility of water so that they can grow more crops in different seasons. And urban employed youth wants to get better job. And a girl from a rich urban family wants she gets as much freedom as her brother and is able to decide what she wants to do in life. She would like to be able to pursue her studies abroad. This means different people have different development aspirations. Sometimes two people or groups may have conflicting desires. Industrialists may want more dams for more electricity. But because of this, the land are submerged. Because of this, the tribals lost their lands. So they may want small check dams to provide irrigation to their lands. Children, what is we can clearly understand the development for one is not development for another. Children, let's look at how there are different views regarding development. Now we let us coming huge development. Now look at the Kudankulam nuclear power project incident. It was most popularized issue which happened in Tamil Nadu was the Kudankulam project located in the place called Tirunelveli. The government of India constructed the nuclear power plant in the quiet coastal town of Fisher Oaks. The government aim is to generate nuclear power to meet the growing energy needs of the country. The people in this region want to protect it on the grounds of safety, security, and livelihood. A long struggle was happened. Scientists, environmentalists, social activists also supported the people and opposed it. Many people sent letters to the government in the form of letters saying that it was our fighting against the devastation it would cause. But the government has announced that it is taking appropriate safety measures for the construction of the project and is continuing construction. Based on this event, who are the people benefited and who do not? The nuclear power project will benefit all the people of the country as they will meet their electricity needs. But the local people to be protected from the destructive danger of radioactivity. And the people in the region have protested on the grounds of safety, security, and livelihood. Accordingly, different people may have different development goals. Now, let's look at the newspaper article. It was published in the Hindu on September 16, 2006. A vessel dumped 500 tons of liquid toxic waste into open air dumps in a city and in the surrounding sea. This happened in a city, Abidjan, in Ivory Coast, a country in Africa. The fumes from the highly toxic waste caused nausea, skin rashes, fainting, diarrhea, etc. After a month, 7 persons were dead, 20 in hospital, and 26,000 treated for symptoms of poisoning. A multinational company dealing in petroleum and metals contracted a local company of the Ivory Coast to dispose the toxic waste from its ship. Have you looked at the newspaper report where this incident took place? Yes, it took place in a town called Abidjan in the Ivory Coast country in Africa. Why this incident happened? A multinational company dealing in petroleum and metals contracted a local company of the Ivory Coast to dispose the toxic waste from a ship. And what kind of difficulties did the people here have to face? Gases emitted from the highly toxic waste cause nausea, skin rashes, fainting, and diarrhea, etc. Based on this event, who are the people benefited and who do not? The local company owner and multinational company benefited, and while a large number of innocent local people of Abidjan in Ivory Coast suffered from this incident. Children, do you understand it? So, it is clear that what is developed for one is not developed for the another. Now, let's move on to another topic, how to compare different countries or states. Let us see how can we say developed country and non-developed country when we comparing countries. Person's income is considered to be one of the most important attribute. Here one question is raised to us. What is the income of a country? The income of the country is the income of all the residents of the country. This gives us the total income of the country. However, for comparison between countries, total income is not such a useful measure. There is a difference in the population of different countries. So, the average person does not know what the income is compared to the total income. Are people in the country better off than others in a different country? We compare the average income. What is average income or per capita income? This comes when the country divides the total income by the population country. Basing on the per capita income, we can assess that whether a country is developed or not developed. This criterion is used in World Development Report brought out by the World Bank to classify countries. According to the World Bank, any country's per capita income of 12,600 US dollars and above per annum are called high income countries or rich countries. Example Norway, Switzerland. Those countries with per capita income of US dollars 1035 or less per annum in 2012 are called low income countries. Example India, Indonesia, Iran, etc. Until less than a decade ago, India came in the low income countries. Now our nation falls under the category of middle income countries. Here we see the table for comparison of two countries. Here, in 2001, per capita income was given to citizens of two countries A and B. According to this table, in the country A, all the 5 persons are earning mostly equal monthly income. But country B, the first 4 persons are earning only 500 each, but the fifth person is earning 48,000 rupees per month. If we are the fifth one, it is okay. But if we are one among the first four, it will be worse to live in it. If we consider the average, it will be the same at 10,000 per person per month. In these two countries, the country A has more equitable distribution of income. Many countries, more income is there with a few persons. Many people in the countries are poor. They don't have minimum amount of income for their livelihood. In the above table, the average income of the two countries is the same, but in B it is not equally distributed. The GDP is to be distributed among the people of the country. That means the poor also have to get their share in the country. The gap between the poor and the rich is to be removed, and so the society of equality emerged. Children, do you understand it? Now let's move on to another topic, income and other criteria. In the previous, the example we have discussed about country A and country B. Now let us see one example of some states in our country. Example, the income of Punjab per capita income is 78,000. When it comes to Himachal Pradesh, per capita income is 74,000, and when it comes to Bihar, per capita income is 25,000. According to the World Bank, in these comparisons, Punjab per capita income is first place in our country comparison of other states. And we have seen here certain other data of another table that states. In this table, some terms are used here. What is the terms? IMR, literacy rate and net attendance rate. Now, we have discussed these terms. IMR means infant mortality rate. Infant mortality rate is knowing about out of 1,000 live children born, the number of children who die within 1 year. Literacy rate. It measures the percentage of literate population in the 7 and above age group. Net attendance rate. Out of the total number of children in schooling age group 6 to 17, the percentage of children attending school. Of these, the infant mortality rate in 2006 was 42 per thousand in Punjab, also in Himachal Pradesh 36, and also in Bihar 62. Also in 2011, the literacy rate in Punjab was 77 percentage, in Himachal Pradesh 84 percentage, and also in Bihar 64 percentage. So in 2006, net attendance rate in Punjab 76 percentage, in Himachal Pradesh 90 percentage, and also in Bihar 56 percentage. So based on this table, Punjab recorded higher per capita income than Himachal Pradesh. Whereas the infant mortality rate is lesser 36 and literacy rate 84 percentage and net attendance rate 90 percentage are higher in Himachal Pradesh. So we can conclude that lower per capita income does not show lower development rate. Do you understand it, children? Let's move on to another topic, public facilities. Public facilities are services provided by the government to its citizens. There are many public facilities the government provides in day-to-day our life. Example, education, health facilities, electricity, sanitation, and safe drinking water, etc. Children are being educated in many areas as the government is open up what it takes to educate children as well as providing other facilities. In some states like Himachal Pradesh, infant mortality rate is low due to inadequate health facilities and educational facilities. In some states, the public distribution system works well. The public distribution system is not working well, then people will question it. Public health and nutrition levels in such states are likely to be good. Now, let's look at the Human Development Report. When we realize that even though the level of income is important, it is an inadequate measure of the level of development, we begin to think of other criterion. There could be a long list of such criteria, but then it would not be so useful. What we need is a small number of the most important things. Health and education indicators, such as the ones we used in comparison of Kerala and Punjab, are among them. Over the past decade or so, health and education indicators have come to be widely used along with income as a measure of development. For instance, Human Development Report published by United Nations Development Programme UNDP compares countries based on the educational levels of the people, their health status and per capita income. In this Human Development Report, other criteria are needed along with the level of income to measure. Health and education indicators used in Kerala, Punjab are important to measure. Over the past decade, health and education indicators have been increasingly used as a measure of development. In addition to income, Human Development Report published by United Nations Development Programme UNDP compares countries based on the educational levels of the people, their health status and per capita income. Do you understand it, children? Let's move. Another table is about human development data of India and some of neighboring countries pertaining to 2013. Let's first look at the details given in the table. Per capita income in dollars. It is calculated in US dollars for all countries so that one can compare. It is also done in a way so that every dollar would buy the same amount of goods and services in any country. Life expectancy at birth denotes the average expected length of life of a person at the time of birth. Repeat again. It indicates the average life expectancy of a person from birth. Years of schooling. Average number of years of education received by people ages 25 and older. That is, it tells us about the average number of years spent in school by those over the age of 25. Expected years of schooling. Number of years of schooling that a child of school entrance age can expect to receive given the present enrollment rates. It tells us about how many years the school children will be in the school as they are currently attending school. HDI, Human Development Index. It indicates the position of the different countries in the total 177 countries in HDI. In this table, per capita income in dollars, life expectancy at birth, average years of schooling, expected years of schooling are considered and HDI ranking is given. The information given in the table is 6 countries. Sri Lanka is small country but ahead of all aspects. India per capita income is $3,285 while Sri Lanka per capita income is $5,170. As well as Pakistan per capita income is 2,566 US dollars and Myanmar $1,817. Bangladesh per capita income is 1,785 US dollars and Nepal per capita income is $1,137. Of these, Nepal had the lowest per capita income as well as in life expectancy. Pakistan and Bangladesh have got the same rank 65 and 7. As average years of schooling, Nepal had the lowest average years of schooling. Sri Lanka has highest average years of schooling. Expected years of schooling. Pakistan is lacking in expected years of schooling. Plus, the rank of Human Development Index in India 136. Sri Lanka is also ranked 92nd in the Human Development Index because Sri Lanka is ahead in all aspects. Do you understand this table, children? Let us now look at the world map showing HD index, Human Development Index. Very high, high, medium, low income was given. They were shown seen in different colors. By 2020, India ranked at 131st position out of 189 countries in Human Development Index. Based on this map, the USA, Canada, Australia are the three countries which have very high income countries. Brazil and Russia are the two countries with high income, and India and Egypt are the two countries with medium income. Zimbabwe and Kenya are the two countries with low income. Many improvements have been suggested in calculating Health Development Index and many new components have been added to the Human Development Report. But by prefixing human to development, it has made it very clear that what is happening to citizens of a country is important in development. People, their health and their well-being are most important. Let's move on to another topic, development as progress over time. Some countries are ahead of others in terms of human development indicators, as well as some states like Himachal Pradesh are ahead of the rest of the states. Some districts also ahead of the rest of the other districts. Example, why are many more children in Himachal Pradesh going to school on an average than in other states? To answer it, let us look at what has come to be called the schooling revolution in Himachal Pradesh. There are many things to learn from this. At the time of India's independence, the level of education was low in other states as well as in Himachal Pradesh. Himachal Pradesh is a hilly region, so the population density there is low. Expanding the schools was a big problem, especially as expanding into the villages. The government and the people showed great interest on the education. How it was achieved? Government started schools and made sure that education was largely free or made it cost less for parents. In these schools have minimum facilities like classrooms, toilets, drinking water, etc. As the years went, facilities were improved and expanded. More schools opened and teachers also appointed so that many more children could study easily. The government spent most of the money on schools. Himachal Pradesh spent the highest amount on education of each child, 2005 rupees per child, while Indian state government spent an average of 1049 rupees per student on education. Giving more priority to education has resulted in better results. A survey conducted in 1996 and 2006 was about school education in Himachal Pradesh. In Himachal Pradesh, children come out with great enthusiasm. Yet here, children want to studying higher classes and their aspiration to be policemen, scientists and teachers. The attendance rate was very high in primary classes and also in the upper classes. The norm in Himachal Pradesh has come to be at least 10 years of schooling for children. In many parts of the country, girls' education is still less priority by the parents as compared to boys' education. It clearly understood that there is a gender bias with regard to giving education to boys and girls among the people of the country. But Himachal Pradesh parents expect daughter to study as well as their son. So most of the girls between the age of 13 to 18 are able to completing 8th class moving to secondary classes. This means that there is less difference in gender status compared to other regions. Besides education, gender bias can be seen in other areas as well as child mortality rate in Himachal Pradesh is lower for girls than for boys. This is because women do jobs outside their home. Women who work outside the homes are economically independent and self confident. They take good decisions to their households, children's education, health, and birth, etc. So, Himachali mothers expected their daughters to work outside home after marriage. So, parents are interested to send their children to schools irrespective of their income and status. So, education is given more priority. Let us see the table indicating the progress in school education in Himachal Pradesh. According to these details, out of every 100 girls above 6 years of age, 39 girls had studied beyond the primary level in Himachal Pradesh in the year 1993. By the year 2006, this proportion reached 60 out of 100. For India as a whole, the proportion of boys who had studied beyond primary level only 57 out of 100 in the year 2006. These details indicate the progress made at two different times. The development of school education expansion in Himachal Pradesh is significant more than in the whole of India. Children, do you understand this lesson? Now I will give some questions. Answer these questions. What are the different indicators in which development is measured? Which one do you agree with? Second one, give examples of the criterion for the measurement of human development. And third one, what do you learn from the schooling revolution in Himachal Pradesh? Fourth, why do you think parents accord less priority to girls' education as compared to boys? Thank you, children. We will meet again.